Welcome back to the All Purpose Pod for an All Purpose Life, wherever you are and however you listen to the Call Me Mr. You, the podcast. Thank you again for making us a part of your morning, your day, and your week. We're your weekly mirror check before you change the world, baby. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Download, subscribe wherever you enjoy your podcast listening. Good morning, Herb, Bo. How are you guys today?
How's it going, gentlemen?
Awesome. Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Awesome. Football.
Yeah.
That's our response. Football. Oh my! Let me tell you what, man. College football, man. We were talking about it offline. Man. College football has this week was it the best week in your mind? The best week of all of the college football season? I feel like it was, man. It was like everything was just hitting. Indiana 3-8, Purdue 3-8. That was a game. That was better than Oregon State. It was better than Clemson and South Carolina. Penn State, it was better than all those games put together. It was incredible. College football was off the chain this weekend, man. How'd you guys enjoy it, man?
I mean, it's a day of football, man. Like,
now, calm down. Too much excitement.
Well, with my heart calmed down, I enjoyed the game. But my game almost put us in a coma. So, there was time to relax.
Yeah. You know, I was down with you, man. I got a buddy of mine. I helped him plan his church, his first church. He's a huge Auburn fan. He's from Auburn. So his whole family is all a Auburn thing. But the man don't talk to me no more. I said, "Oh, for real? I'm rolling with Herbert Wild. Talk to me almost every day. I'm rolling with Bama. Then that's what we're gonna do." I was a little extra happier about the outcome, man. But let's go ahead and jump into some college football, man. What you guys see, man? Do you guys want to talk about real quick? We're going to Bama and Auburn off the rip.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Spit it
out.
Get
that out the way so that I can relax for the rest of the show.
Copy that. Go for it, bro.
That was just I mean, it was everything that we expected. People kept asking any Bama fans, are y'all overlooking Auburn? And we were like, no. I mean, especially not at Auburn. Crazy things always happen there. They play their best game in a lot. There was even talk that like last week against New Mexico State, Hugh Freeze didn't call the game. He let his offensive coordinator do it. Somebody who they think might be getting fired at the end of the year. And we 1000% thought that Hugh Freeze was going to take over play calling again for Alabama game. And he did. I mean, it was pretty clear that they skipped the New Mexico State game and just had a game plan for Alabama. And I mean, they outplayed and outcoached us for much of the game. It was just the craziest sequence that even got us into the game, then back out of the game, and then won the game. So is 5 minutes left. We have to we punt. We have 3 timeouts, so the punt isn't a terrible idea at that point. But you're already in the middle of the punt thinking, and first you get a review where you think your guy's in, looks like he's in. They say no, he's not in, so you're already mad.
Did look like it.
Yeah. So then you punt, and you're like, oh, now we got to get a stop. And then the kick returner muffs it, and you can find out after the game the coach didn't even know which guy that was back there. It wasn't the guy that he thought was back there.
But that's good.
Yeah, so that's the reporters out there asking him the question, telling them who muffed the punt. He's like, oh, I thought it was such and such. I'm like, this is a comedy of errors. But,
right.
You get a 4th and 1, you get 1st and goal at the 7, I mean, you saw the rest of it. Bad snap that goes back 20 yards. And I don't know if you all saw this. They've now showed a replay.
I saw the whole thing, brother.
Where one of the Auburn players went up and he did the clap, which is supposed to be disconcerting signals, but they didn't call it. So they end up with a 4th and 31. I mean, I'm already thinking, like, how do I face my Auburn friends? Like, what text messages am I going to get? It's just – and then you get a one-on-one in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Like, none of it makes sense.
I didn't think it was real, brother.
No.
I watched that thing like about 19 times. I'm like, did he stay in? That was just like, it was surreal. I'm like, this really happened? Them people out there crying, man, like legit bawling tears. Like, wow. I feel bad for them. Like, they thought it was over. And how could you not?
Yeah.
Look how it played out. Look how many seconds were left on the clock. How could you not think it was over? It was academic, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he even knew where it was going. I'm not sure. But he threw it in that area, and I don't know who the receiver was, to be honest with you.
Well, I'll say, Isaiah, but I'll say this about the coverage that they played. He only had 2 spots to throw it. It was going to be on one of the outsides. because for whatever reason, it was one of the worst defensive alignments I've ever seen. First off, two people in the spy. You don't use a spy for a 30-yard run. Like, it doesn't use a spy for regular defense. A spy for a guy who has to run 30 yards and all your defenders are in the end zone. Like, none of that makes sense to me. That guy was useless. And then they bracketed everybody in the middle. So your one-on-one matchups were both.
Yeah,
outside.
I saw that.
So it was going one of those two spots. And, we picked the spot out there. And I love it. Auburn's like, oh, he pushed off. Yeah, there was hand fighting before. But if you think an official's going to call that little bit of stuff at that point in the game, yeah, okay. You guys played terrible defense at the worst time in the game. You gave the man like 10 seconds to throw. I don't, just own that, okay?
That game was incredible, man. That was one of the highlights of the day for sure. Got some folks to chime in. Good morning. Mom's in the house. Always support us and give us love, man. Thank you so much, Mom. Back it up, Binge. Good morning, Sam. Thanks for joining us and listening to the show. We appreciate you. All right, what else we got going? I was talking about Indiana and Purdue. That was an incredible game, and that's where the true college football lovers come out, because all the big names always attract the people who don't know any better sometimes. It's also a big name. It's going to be a big game. Yeah, maybe. But that was a big one. I saw a little bit of that, but I didn't watch the whole game, to be honest about it. Of course, I was lights out, locked down in the game, Ohio State and Michigan, but I want to let Bo jump in. You want to talk about the Huskies and Wazoo, or you?
Yeah. So this was every bit the nail biter you knew it was going to be.
Yes,
because the Apple Cup always is, right? Like, regardless of what the records are, they come to punch each other in the face. Like, it is not even in the mouth, right? Like, they're coming to land haymakers all day. So it was a battle to the end. It ended up coming down to a field goal right at the end. Huskies obviously pull it out, but it was a dogfight, and it was everything you want out of that game. And but with the win. Right, the win makes it good, because otherwise you're like, man, it's like a bit away. But yeah, no, it was an awesome game, top to bottom.
Okay, so how do you feel about Penix now after the game? You feel more confident about him and his draft stock, or did something slip a little bit for you just based on that game?
No, I still think he's going to be kind of a late round first. Right, late round first, maybe an early second, like that. That seems like he's still probably in that spot. I think he kind of has the same draft stock that Bonus does, right? Like, I think they're going to be kind of in and around where each other are there at the end of the first, early second. Like that seems like kind of where they'll land, unless somebody wants to kind of move up and get them or something like that. Like, somebody's just like, hey, we're moving off our quarterback or whatever. But I still think they're probably around in there. Him not having the best game against Washington State makes sense, because, again, that's a team that is.
That's what I'm saying.
They know each other well. Like, I never take a bad game in a rivalry game as a slight against your ability to play, because that's a game that they come up to get you every year, right? Yeah. They know you. They're going to battle it out no matter what it is. So, it's like a divisional game in the NFL, right? Like, your divisional rivals, whatever the records are, that they're coming for you, right? They know you. So,
I guess the Washington State also, they needed to win to get to a bowl too, right? So that was a little extra incentive for them as well, huh?
Exactly. They were still bowl eligible, so this knocks them out. And of course, if they do win, right, they take Washington out of the national title conversation, right? So we could get to a bowl, we can knock them out of the big game. There was a ton of incentive for Washington State to come in and get some work done. Yeah. So lots on the line in this game, which is exactly what you want for the last game of the year.
Yep.
In that same vein, talking about all these rivalry games that are intense because they're kind of, the one game, would it be Bama and Auburn or Washington and Wazoo, it's going to be that game that, you just have to key into, because it's going to be, the game for those two squads. Same thing with Michigan and Ohio State. Yep. I don't even know what the numbers were coming into that game. I have no idea if we were favored or not. I don't even care. I just knew that,
they were both undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, man.
You want to talk about national relevance? Your game was way bigger than than both of ours.
Oh,
it was humongous, man, and big in a lot of ways. One, because Michigan was going to have 3 straight against Ohio State, which is don't sound like a lot to some people, but it's big to us because we had several years where maybe 5 or 6 years or so where we weren't winning against them for at all under Urban Meyer.
Yep.
So they've got all this drama that's going on now with talking about sign stealing, and now Harbaugh's now on the sideline, and Ryan Day probably feeling good about himself. And we went out there and went through a whole first quarter, I think, scoreless. I think we struck first, I think, in it was early second or late first, 7-0, and it was basically a dogfight the entire time, almost to the end of the game. And it's like, and I was already, hollering and screaming by that point. So just to be clear, I was already making a whole lot of loud noises already by that point. You know what I'm saying? But what I love about this team is that they didn't try to rely on JJ to win the game for them. They did what's been working. And a lot of that has been defense. I believe that their defense is ranked number 1, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong about that, please correct me. But I think they're number 1 defense in the entire country. And they needed to show that in this game, if not any other game, because Marvin Harrison Jr. beast, we had to bracket him throughout the entire game, which was a good thing. Yep. They had, what's the guy's name? Fleming. They had to give him the ball because Harrison was covered the majority of the time. But I mean, they just gutted it out, man. Yeah, I mean, they gutted it out, and what I love is they didn't make any mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of thing that's like, if JJ's not throwing a lot, which he wasn't. He threw for like 140 yards, something like that, and a touchdown. He didn't make any mistakes. And against Ohio State, you got to have that part locked down. You can't make any mistakes out there. You know what I'm saying? So we were recovering balls and forcing turnovers and stuff. I mean, it was a fantastic game, man. And at the end, it was to some degree in question. Ohio State could come back and everything, but I just never really felt it. And I wasn't a fan of it. I just kind of felt like, you know what? I see what's getting ready to happen, but it's not going to happen. I trusted the defense that much, and they came through. They pressured I'm blanking on the man. No disrespect. I can't remember his name for anything right now. But the quarterback. But they were showing a consistent pass rush, and he was he had some clean pockets here and there, but on that last play, it kind of broke down, and he was under duress, and we got after him, even put a hit on him, I think. And then Bob Moore was there. Guess what? Game-stealing interception, and that was a wrap, man. So we played a complete game, a solid game, man. I think Sharon Moore raised his coaching stock. I don't know what he's going to do or where he's going to be going or who he's going to be coaching, but he helped himself with these 3 games, man. He did very, very well, man. I think Harbaugh will be proud, man. And, everybody saying Michigan against everybody. Yeah, it feels that way because everybody kept talking about it so much. Like, I'm like, do we not play good football? Do we not do what's important on the field? Everything else is just ancillary side stuff. It's like, do we play football? Do we do that well? Answer yes or no. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was an emphatic yes this weekend. I'm excited about it. But when I was talking offline about Iowa, he doesn't have much faith that Iowa's going to do anything. I watched Iowa's game.
Sorry, I just
you got to apologize to me, man. But we do have some Iowa listeners. I think, at least on Twitter, anyways. But I watched the game. I forgot who they played. To be honest, I don't know who they played. But Iowa played somebody. I think it was Nebraska.
Nebraska, yeah.
And to be honest with you, man, what I saw, and I watched about 2 quarters. Nebraska was putting in work on Iowa. I don't know what the incentive was for that. They're not ranked. They probably get into a bowl game. I think they're 5-7, so I guess they knocked out of a bowl game now because they didn't win that game. So they're not bowl eligible. They put in work on Iowa. They had them people out there stressing. I'm like, wow, this is who we got to play. So I was kind of salivating just a little bit. I'm like, oh wow. I was seeing a whole bunch of stuff that I know our team can capitalize on. So I'm with Herb on the fact that I believe we should. I say easily. I don't want to be presumptuous, but I think we should win this game.
I'll say it then easily. I mean, if you get a couple of touchdowns, I think that game's over. So, spend the first half getting one, get one in the third quarter, and everybody can tune into something else for the fourth quarter. Like,
the quarterback reminds me of Jerry Lorenzen. and I don't mean that in a good way.
Yeah. I mean, they're basically hoping for something bad to happen to the other team so they can get decent field position to maybe kick a field goal or two and rely on their defense. I mean, look at them. The end of that game looked like both teams were trying to figure out a way to lose it, and Iowa just kind of came away with it. But
well, you're welcome. All right, yeah. So let's look at the whole picture now. So we got 5 of 9 teams that control their own destiny. That's Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Washington, and Florida State. And then you got 2 that have experience in the playoff, Oregon and Alabama. And you got 2 who are new. And we were talking about it, I think, last week about Louisville and Texas. I think Louisville's in the title game, which is like, okay, wow.
Louisville's out, though. Louisville's out.
Out of the title game?
They're out of the playoff talk. Yeah. They're not going past that.
All right. Well, guess what?
Kentucky knocked them out.
Wow. I saw them lose. I'm like, is anybody sad about this? Are they still going to be in the playoffs? I didn't realize they were out of it. So there we go. Then you got the SEC championship game. How you feeling, Herb?
I mean, not great.
How you feeling, David?
It's still Georgia. You know, that's a tough road to go. I like our chances, of course, and I'm going to pick us to win, of course. But you know, if we were playing the Chiefs or the Eagles, I'd still pick us to win. So, I mean, that's how much of a home.
What do you like about your guys' chances? I mean, because you know your team better than anybody else, man. What do you like that you're seeing?
Just that we've gotten better every game, and we seem to improve. Our quarterback is getting better every game. The defense is solid, so I think no matter what happens offensively, they'll keep us in it. And except for this last game, we've seemed to make really good adjustments for the second half, and Georgia seems to start slow every game. So, I mean, there's a lot of positives. But I mean, no, take no mistake, I still think Georgia's the best team in the country, and it's, you know, this is not going to be easy by any means. They have every right to be favored. I would favor them, and if I was more honest, I'd probably even pick them to win. But I like our chances. You know, I mean, we just converted a 4th and 31. Anything is possible now. So,
right.
Good morning, Raj. Roll Tide, right? Good morning, brother. Glad to have you on. What do you guys think is Georgia's strength?
Man, it's changed the offense. You know, like
it's changed the offense.
Yeah. So even listening. Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, that's we're laughing, but that is the perfect point. You know, they're even saying Georgia's front 7 is not even the best in the conference anymore. You know, now that's listening to the Georgia podcast and SEC podcast. They're putting Texas A&M above them, and even Alabama's front 7 above them. So with their ability now is they still play. Now, let's keep in mind, Georgia not having the best defense in the country is still like a top 10 defense. So it's not like they're a bunch of bums back there. And the secondary is probably the best in the country now. But, you know, they can score points, you know, in a variety of ways, and they have a variety of pass catchers. So they're scary on offense now, which is that's a Georgia team that can play both sides of the ball really well. Is a very, very scary team. So.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's so many scenarios. I wasn't lay out all the scenarios, but I'm like, I don't know if I feel like doing that now. But there's a whole bunch of scenarios about what could happen if this and this. I read an awful lot about the Armageddon scenario, which I thought was so funny. I'm like, ooh, that one had the most chaos. I want that. That's what I want. One with the most chaos. That's where 8 teams are at 12-1. And it's like, who's the committee going to pick then? We probably have no undefeated Power 5 teams. It's going to be left in that scenario. Alabama wins out and takes the SEC. The Ties and the Dogs both finish at 12-1. Ohio State and Michigan, well, they play each other. So if Michigan drops the Big Ten title to Iowa, which I think is laughable, but if that happens, they finish with the best record in the league at 12-1 as a non-champ, and the other one finishes 11-1, something like that. Oregon wins out, takes the Pac-12. The Ducks and the Huskies both finish at 12-1. Texas wins out, takes the Big 12 and finishes 12-1. Louisville didn't win out, so this is a non-factor for them. They're already out. But it would be something like that. We have 4 conference champions against 4 non-champions, I guess. In this case, Louisville's out. So I wonder who replaces them in that scenario now, since Louisville's out. It's not Texas, but okay. So, are you guys excited about college football or what?
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty crazy. It's gonna be pretty crazy.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Look at this. Louisville has 2 losses, not going to the playoffs.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Uh-oh.
Hey.
I'm gonna send the fight song. Don't get me started. All right, man. So let's jump into our power rankings. If we're done with college, you guys any more thoughts on college? Bo, anything else? Bruh, I don't speak Panama.
That we lost Bo for a second. I think that's a good question about Ryan Day. It's been said. Who was it? Urban Meyer came out and said he doesn't think he's in trouble. But there's like plenty of several former players that are calling for his head, and his record against top 5, but 1-6 versus top 5 is just terrible. And you lose 3 to Michigan. So I read an article. They said, I guess because you guys are graduating so many seniors, if he loses next year, he's out. Maybe in the middle of the game.
So that's what they're waiting for?
They said that might give him one more year.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Honestly,
now, for me, the Pac-12 championship, that one's going to be good, especially since Oregon is somehow favored, even though Washington already beat them once.
Yeah,
they're Oregon, I think, is favored by like 9. Like they think they're going to come.
Wow.
Right?
I didn't expect that. So.
Yeah. When I saw the line, I was like, did somebody did they crash the bus and everybody's on IR? Like what happened to the Huskies overnight?
Penix declared for the draft after the Washington State game. You know
what happened? It's about somebody injured in Washington?
No.
9 is a lot.
The line made no sense when I saw it last night. It may be different now. I haven't looked back at it, but
let's verify that.
We said full disclosure. Raj and I were probably going to pick Oregon in that game, but I was thinking Oregon -3. And I think that a lot of that's a perception game because it feels like Oregon has played better since they played than Washington has played. But
that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. I would never have.
I expect that to not be the case. But that being said, if I was betting, I would have taken that spread to not get covered.
Easily.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay. Ready for the power rankings?
Yeah, let's do it.
What was you talking about Ryan Day? We done with that? I don't have no comment on whether he could.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I got nothing, man.
Yeah. Hey, Bo, I still have Washington 9 plus 9.5 is what I'm looking.
It is 9.5. That's insane. That's an insane number.
Rod is not helping.
Yeah, but even with a touchdown, they don't cover. 9.5 is no joke.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's weird. All right. So who's cranking it off? V12 power rankings.
Sure, I'll go first this week.
Uh-oh.
So mine didn't have tons of movement, at least at the top, right? So I still have the Eagles at 1, Ravens at 2. I did slide the Niners up to 3. Lions at 4, KC at 5. The Dolphins still at 6, Cowboys still at 7. Got the Jags hanging out at 8. The Texans I left at 9 just because that was as good of a showing in a loss as I think you could have, right? Like the Texans, they gave the Jags everything they could. So I liked them there. And then I have the Vikings at 10. Obviously, they play tonight, so that may change. But so I got the Vikings rounding out the top 10.
All righty. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump on this next one. I still got the Chiefs at 1. I didn't really see the point of changing that, especially after yesterday's events. I got the Eagles at 2. I didn't punish them for anything yesterday. 49ers at 3. Got the Lions at 4. Still a top 5 team in the league in my mind. Got the Ravens at 5. Congrats to Lamar Jackson, fastest QB in history to reach 5,000 rushing yards. I'm like, wow, that's pretty awesome. I'm concerned about that kind of stuff because
injuries, yeah.
Runners get hit, right? But got the Dolphins at 6. Got the Cowboys at 7. I know people are like, oh, it's gonna be Cowboys hate. It's really not, man. Their record against opponents under 500 is 28. Is it under 500? 28 and 58. That's the combined win-loss record of team they've been playing. So They haven't really hit those big strides yet. So I'm just like, they're in the top 10, but I can't do anything else beside that right now. But Jaguars at 8. Got the Steelers coming in at 9. Hey, give some props, man, because they have the division so far. I kind of been penalizing them for other stuff, but now they got this is game 1 without Matt Canada in it, so that's an indication of things to come. And offense they put on yesterday, they could break away from the North easily in the next few games. I got the Browns still, dropping back down to 10. I want to believe the DTR can do what Stroud is doing, but I just don't see it happening. So they got to run their defense to win games, and I'm like, wow. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm at 10 for right now. But that's my power ranking.
Yeah, and Stroud has a big advantage having been the starter for the whole time versus DTR just kind of getting thrown into the mix in the middle. So I liked him in college, DTR, but this is going to be a tough one to pick it up in the middle of the season, becoming the starter.
Yeah, he's new, and you can see it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him for that. It's tough going from second string reps to first string reps, and all of a sudden having to be the guy.
It's not his fault. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how that goes for them long term, man. But
no, especially now with a top 5 defense, that hurts them having to come into this situation. But so mine, I went Philly number 1. I went San Fran number 2. In full disclosure, in the middle of the game last night, if Philly lost, I was putting San Fran at number 1. I kind of went more college rules on this, not just records, but like eye test. And like to me, San Francisco just looks like well, different criteria for different parts of your rankings, right? That's how the college works. So that's how mine worked. Philly, San Fran, KC, Baltimore, Jacksonville, top 5. I put Dallas 6 and Detroit 7 because I feel like Dallas is going to beat Detroit when they play. So let's start with that. Miami 8. That's going to be the whole thing with not beating teams with winning records. I had to leave them down below everybody else. So I had Pittsburgh and Cleveland at 9 and 10, but the more I look at that, I think I'm just going to go with Houston and Seattle at 9 and 10, just because, Pittsburgh had 400 yards of offense yesterday and still only managed 16 points, and they felt like that was a breakthrough after fighting Canada. So it's still, to me, a work in progress.
What they were doing, that was a breakthrough, though, because they still would only had 16 points, and some of those would have been defense.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So we got a little bit of movement, not a whole lot of changes. I think the Steelers probably going to stand in my top 10.
Raj does not like my Miami 8 pick.
Yeah. We're going.
That's awesome.
We're going to deal with that at the end of the show because I don't want there to be any kind of a.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So
speaking of DTR, he gets knocked out with concussion during the game. So he's already ruled out for next week.
Oh, wow. Who do they have in there?
Brissett?
Are we at PJ? Who's?
No, they ain't got no Brissett. He ain't on that team, man.
Yeah, he's gone.
Walker. No. Sorry, Walker.
PJ Walker, right? Is that?
Yeah, Walker.
Is he? You sure?
I thought that was their third.
Yeah,
Brissett went to like Washington or something, right?
I thought he was somewhere else.
No, PJ Walker's their guy. Yeah. So he ended up coming in for him after DTR got hit. He
started a game this year, PJ Walker did.
He is good.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, wow. Yep. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So let's jump into some Week 12 NFL football. We'll break down as many games as we got time for, I guess. But I'll start with the Packers and the Lions. That was the one game I don't know. I thought it was the one game out of the 3 that they had that had the most potential for something crazy to happen. I didn't really see it with the Cowboys and the Commanders, and I really felt like the Niners were going to run through the Seahawks. No offense, brother. I love you. You know that. I just didn't see it happening. So I just felt the Packers and the Lions going to be that one game that, you know what? Is it going to be the Lions of old or the Packers of old? I didn't know who was going to show up on this field that day. But, man, they had Lions were favored by 7.5 at the time. Green Bay attempted 4 third-down conversions, and they were really aggressive at 11 first downs. But Goff was his old Ram self. A lot of fumbles, high throws. They had a failed 4th down try on Detroit's 20 in the third quarter, which is something that a lot of people are still talking about. Why did you attempt to do this as opposed to punting? But they talking about Jordan Love again, man. I'm bringing sexy back, man, because I'm like, look, this guy. I think, in my opinion, he's done enough now. He's got enough connection and camaraderie with the team to say, you know what, get this man a shot. I'm not saying how long. I ain't saying some kind of multi-year contract. I'm not even saying all of that stuff. that's somebody with bigger pockets making that kind of call. But for me, you got to give him another shot, a clean shot, hopefully with Bakhtiari healthy, which is something that we talk about every single year because it doesn't happen. But with a healthy left tackle back there, give him what Rodgers thrived off of. Let him have protection, give him time. I mean, he had I think that was his best game of the year Thursday. 307 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, which is really good for a young quarterback, right? 125.5 passer rating, the best in his career. I mean, I think he's the first Green Bay quarterback those 300 yards in years, in like 2 years. So those things matter, man. So I think in his 4 games, he totaled almost 1,200 yards with 8 touchdowns, only 2 turnovers during that time, which is like really good. Christian Watson jumped on a post-game presser saying, you know what, in my eyes, I've seen enough. As far as his future as a franchise quarterback. He said, he went on to say, I'm reading his words verbatim. He said, we know what he's capable of. And for him, he's going to keep on getting better, keep on climbing, keep on getting even more comfortable back there. We're going to keep on getting better around him too. We're going to keep coming up as a team. That's only going to make all of us better. So he already got basically co-signed from, I guess, their de facto number 1 wide receiver. And I'm sure other people on the team feel the same way about him, man. You got to give him another shot, man. He did really good. And the Lions are not pushovers. They're not the Lions of old. I mean, we saw stuff that wasn't good on Thursday, but they're not the Lions of old. And the Packers dismantled them, man. They handled them. I don't know how else to put it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give the Packers and Jordan Love props, man. But what do you think about the game, if anything? If no thoughts, we can move on. No worries.
No. Like it was a good game, and it was a great showing for the Packers. It was some sloppy football by the Lions for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you started to see some things that you needed to see for people to keep their jobs in Green Bay.
Yeah. I was texting a Lions friend during the thing, and he just wasn't surprised at all. He's like, this is just us on Thanksgiving. Like, this is, like a regular occurrence.
Yeah. The Lions on Thanksgiving is like being on the cover of Madden. Like, it's not going to
go. he wasn't surprised at any of it. So,
y'all want to break this tradition and take the Lions out of it? I mean, then what's going to happen?
No. You leave them in there. They go into it like almost slated mentally that it's a loss.
Yeah.
But they'd be complaining if you took the Lions and broke tradition and took the Lions out of it, then they'd be complaining about that. It'd be a big outcry.
Yeah. I think it's just when nobody wanted to play on Thanksgiving, Dallas and Detroit stepped up. And so now the NFL doesn't want to take it back from them now that it's kind of like in vogue to play on Thanksgiving. So.
Well, suck it up, play football, and go get some turkey afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? What's the next game?
I had the Jags and Houston. This was potential for the division title and everything. It started off so slow, like neither team could really get a rhythm. Houston did not look good for most of the first half. Jags come down there, an opportunity to put points on the board. At the end of the first half, they get the ball, first and goal from the 1 with time to run one play, running play, stopped, nothing. And it's funny because they asked the coach about it. And he's like, we were getting the ball. That is free money because we're getting the ball after half. If you're getting the ball after half, then you kick the field goal, take the points, and go back and maybe touchdown on the next drive. You don't forsake that. But anyway, it was interesting the way that the second half started. Jacksonville's driving, clear pass interference, missed. They throw an interception. Houston comes down and scores. So now we got Houston's winning. So the very next drive, there's like 3 pass interference calls on Houston, one of which was clear just hand fighting. And they were just like, what? Here you go. I mean, if the ref wanted to write a card that said, sorry for that, let's make up for this, here you go. Like, that's what they did on the next drive. It was crazy.
I feel like there was a little too many makeup calls there, though.
Yes, I agree. And I was just like, okay, at some point it evens out. Let's go.
Number 4 home.
Yeah, exactly.
You hope it evens out. Somebody keeping track of the numbers? Can we owe them this much?
Basically, the first interception, Houston went down and scored. So it was almost like they decided on the second one, Jacksonville's going to score on this drive, no matter what we have to do.
Yeah, that really feeds into the scripted narrative that's out there, right? Because it looked like they were trying to give them a score.
Yes. It really did. I was rooting for Houston, but it was like come on, you guys should have just called the first pass interference, and
Bingo.
nobody would have argued because it was a clear one. Ingram's coming out of his break, and there was, he's being held, and the ball goes right to where he would have been had he not been held. I was like, come on, guys, But Jacksonville discovered Ridley in the second half. That was one of the keys because he had no catches in the first half, but he was like 5 for 89 with a touchdown in the second half. So
he tried to find him.
Yeah.
Where was he?
Yeah. But all of a sudden he found him, and it was like he's just running free out there,
Yeah.
So
imagine that your number one wide receiver running line uncovered.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well, that's why you missed him in the first half. You're like, I must be reading this wrong.
Yeah.
there must be somebody lurking that I'm missing.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And then I think I'm going to remember most in this game, the last drive. You get down to the 37-yard line, and then you take a sack, for 9 yards. You get 7 of those yards back, so you're 2 yards short of where you would have been, and then you have a field goal that hits the upright. Had you even just taken a knee and kicked the field goal, you're probably making that one. So it's like,
and he got all
good.
Yeah. He got all of it. Like he booted that thing.
Yeah. It looked good and perfectly straight. I mean, because I think he hit the exact middle. So
he did.
He'll never do that again in a million years. So it's maybe situational awareness. Yeah, I know maybe your line breaks down where, but you just can't take a sack in that situation. When you're already on the edge of field goal range, you can't do that. So good game, close game, but you can still see growing pains for Houston. So
yeah.
That's why I didn't drop them out of my top 10.
Yeah.
Right? It's because everything you saw there, you're like, oh man, this is them learning. It's like, oh, this is encouraging. I like it.
Yeah, that's okay. Do you like the Jags though? Do you like them as serious contenders? Because I even this game, even this game gives me pause. I already had pause last week, the week before that.
Yep.
They've been our top 10 since we started doing power rankings. They never left. They fell and risen. I think as low as 8 for me and as high as 5, I think.
Yeah, I think that's about
I never felt it. I don't know about you guys.
Well, they just don't play defense is the problem. So, I mean, they have a similar issue to what I don't love about Miami. Like, they can score points. Both teams can score points. I think Miami can score at a better clip than the Jags. But the problem is neither one of them play defense, which is why they've never been super high on my list. But they win enough to stay in the top 10, right? Yeah. So do I think they're a true contender? No, I think they get blown out in the playoffs. But I think they can make the playoffs. Yeah. But it's why the Jags are a position ahead of the Texans, right? Obviously, they beat them head-to-head now, too. But, they're just a little more consistent, right? But yeah, they don't play defense. So I don't take any team that doesn't play defense seriously to win a ring.
Yeah. I think they also just seem like they're playing just well enough to win the division. And, they know that, almost like maybe Detroit at times where you're thinking, all right, they're going to drop a game here or there just because they know we've got the division in their back pocket. I agree with Bo. I don't put them in that top tier of contenders, good team and could stand to grow some, but they don't feel like it,
I'm giving a little bit of props because they scored. I mean, they held the Texans to 21 points, which is really good, man. Because Stroud's been blowing it up, man. So that's not a small task at all. And they have 4 sacks against them too. So the defense was there, especially at least this week, anyways. So give a little bit of props on that one. But go ahead, Bo, jump into your game, man. What you got, brother?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I got to do the Niners Hawks. Big divisional match.
Excited?
It went how I thought it would go. It, as a fan, I wanted my Seahawks to win, but as an analyst, I was like, that ain't gonna happen. So, even in my pick'em pool, I had the Niners winning that game. So I may be a fan, but I'm not stupid.
No, you are not, sir.
But so I roll into this thing, and there were encouraging parts, right? Okay. Obviously on the Niners end, they came in, they did work, right? They were hitting on all cylinders. They look every bit the world beater that they can be when they're healthy. So kudos to them. Can't fault that at all. They had a nice, efficient day in every facet of the game. For the Hawks, they actually did hold them defensively, except for the second quarter. So outside of that, they actually looked pretty decent at times on defense. But in that second quarter is where you ended up with a lot of questions about where this team is headed, because you end up getting, last year's defensive rookie of the year runner-up, Woolen, getting benched because he's not tackling, right? Mm-hmm. You saw a letdown from DK where we were kind of backed up against the end zone, needed a first down. He catches it at 8 yards, and he has a couple of guys hit him, and he just stands up, right? Like he doesn't keep driving to try and get there. And then at the same time, the Niners in that same situation, they break 4 tackles to get 3 yards. So you were looking at like just a lack of effort that, man, like if he was powering and didn't get it, I wouldn't think twice about it. But for you to get hit and just kind of stand up, like what are we even doing right now? Plus your back.
This man has a lot of things going against him lately.
Man, it's rough. And unfortunately, I happen to be sitting at that end of the stadium, so I got to watch it like real close.
So he has a lot going on.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's why that conversation about him potentially being traded comes up, because he does so many things that kind of hurt the team as opposed to the amazing things he can do.
Yeah.
So,
you and I were on a different show when we were talking about DK, or his name was brought up anyways. And we were talking about, his trade value, what that looks like.
Yep.
I hear stuff like this and I'm like, this takes you out of the being traded for a first rounder, even if you are going to happen anyways. This takes you out of that realm, because that's character.
For sure.
Football. I mean, the man's strong. I mean, we know that he can play. He can catch. Thank God, he can catch passes. You know what I'm saying? But that kind of stuff, it's like that's mental. Other stuff is like, wow, what do you?
Yeah.
How do you assess that kind of stuff, man? So it's like it's really weird to see what's going to happen with him. I think what you said on the other show was really smart, man. Move him now while he has the highest value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if this stuff is going on more and more going into the playoffs, and now DBs know, they didn't already, they should already know by now, but they know that they can get under his skin, make that man break character.
So the thing that's funny is he'll because of his athletic ability, he has one move for top dollar no matter what he does. Because the NFL is funny if you're moving from the first team, they're like that unrealistic girlfriend. They're like, I could change him. Like,
yeah, you can. That always works.
Yeah, and we've watched that exact scenario with Diggs, right? The Bills end up bringing him from the Vikings, right? He was okay for a little while, and then he turns back into who he is, right? So I think I mean it's that dude, right? So it's I mean I figure a team is going to give him they're going to give him a top trade for the first time. Now, if he does this again in a new location, then that trade stock goes way down. But the first time, there's always one coach out there that looks at all the athletic ability and they're like, I could change him. He can work in my system.
Yep.
I'm saying the same thing I said on that other show, brother. I don't see no first, man. A 2, or 2 2s, a 2 and a 3. Yeah, but you ain't getting no first.
I mean, a couple of twos would still be fine based on the players in the house.
Not a first rounder. No, sir.
Right?
All right.
With Lockett, JSN, and Bobo, I think they would be fine.
Yep. And to both points, sometimes it only takes one. So you don't need 29 other teams to offer him a first. You just need that one to come out there and say he's the difference for us. So
one conversation, which we can have it, but who would that be? But we ain't got time for that. All right, I'm going to get into passing the Giants. I'm gonna try to be as quick as possible because we're kind of up against it a little bit. But actually, the Patriots were favored by 3.5. I couldn't believe that.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't pick them in it.
And we kind of went into the week with some alleged issues between Coach Dayball and our DC, Wink Martindale. Right. They're not getting along. They're not sharing their pizza anymore. I don't know what the heck's going on out there. But to be fair, we have struggled to overcome, replicate last season's success in 2022. We had a 3-8 record going into the game. Bottom 5 offensive and defensive yards. So it was just a surprising plot twist to see this kind of game like this. So the game ball went to Wink today. I said it before it even happened. I said, you got to give Wink the game ball. And I saw a piece of the locker room meeting, and guess who got the ball? Wink. And everybody in there cheered. Man, them boys is all around. They ain't rallied around Wink. You can't let that man go behind no disagreement. That whole room went erupted when he got that ball in his hand. And he stood there. He had tears in his eyes, and people was crying with him. Like, you gonna get rid of him? Yeah, good luck with that. But the defense showed up though, despite the absence of Sexy Dexy. He had a hamstring. This game was weird because I couldn't tell if New England was trying to win or not. It was really hard to tell. We gave him the ball back, but I think about 2 minutes left, which was like I had actually stepped. It was like 3 minutes ago, 3 minutes in, or 3 minutes left, and we had the ball in our hands. I went to go step out. I came back, and the pass was driving. Like, what happened? So I can't even tell you what took place. I had to step out. I missed the whole thing, but came back, and they were actually driving and setting up for a Chad Wilding 35-yard field goal attempt. And I'm like, we're tied right now. We're up by 3. We're up by 3.
By 3, yeah.
Excuse me. And Belichick is playing for a tie. They never addressed the end zone at all during this time, which is like that's really weird. I know Deontay Banks got an interception today. It was about 3 of them total that happened during the game, but not one try in the end zone. What do you have to lose? I mean, except the game. What do you have to lose? I mean, it's still like Belichick was trying to play for a tie and then try to win in overtime. Like that was just un-Bill Belichickian.
Yeah,
if I can say that. That was really weird. I don't understand if that was like his way of getting a higher draft pick. What was the plan? I don't know what you guys saw, but that was just really weird to me. But Tommy DeVito did what he's been doing, giving him time back there. 17 to 25. He didn't throw a lot. We ran the ball with Barkley a lot, but it wasn't very productive. He had 191 yards on the score. Actually found Jalen Hyatt for the first time. Finally, Jalen Hyatt had, fans, especially on my Twitter page, been talking about this for I don't know how long, how many weeks. Where's Jalen Hyatt? Is he hurt? Is he playing? Now the man's out there. Just no balls coming his way at all. Not one attempt. But he went off yesterday. 5 receptions for 109 yards. Per catch, about 22 yards per catch. That was his first 100-yard game. So this is like a good start for him. And which ain't surprising because he was probably practicing with DeVito when they in the offseason. That was who he probably was catching passes from anyway. But they had Jones in there. He got sat. I don't know what the future is for him. How do you put him back in there after you done sat him second or third time? He's been
fourth
sat.
time.
This is the 4th time he's been sat. And I was main when I told Bo, I said Zappy's. I think he's the one, man. I think he can do it. Yeah, yesterday he said he's not the one. 9 for 14 for 54 yards and an interception.
Yeah,
this is your shot, boy. Take Mac's spot. This was it.
Yeah. Yep. And I believe this is the second time in a row he's thrown an interception immediately after coming in for Mac Jones. So
wow. I mean, I don't know if they were trying to win the game or not. I honestly really can't even tell you, man. I know they want to draft a quarterback. I kind of feel that way about it. So maybe this is their way to get himself a shot at it. Maybe they're looking for Drake May. I heard a couple of things regarding that. I think Drake May would fit good in their offense, and Belichick probably loves him. Probably seeing a flash of the Tom Brady or something like that. I don't know what he's thinking there. But our defense again did the work in the trenches, man. I mean, 10-7. There's people actually complaining on Twitter about the Giants actually winning. They're mad about it. We should have lost. We should have lost. I'm like, you rooting for your team to lose? Where do you come from? Hell? Where you from? You know
Yeah, exactly.
So I want them to win, but for me, I got to own one thing. I'm pencil gonna hurt after this, but they won 10-7, and I felt funny about that. I'm like, this is what New York football was supposed to be about at the start, grinding stuff out. Look at the 2 Super Bowls that we won against the Patriots. Those weren't high scoring. Talking about 17-14. They were high scoring games. They grounded out with defense. I'm like, what's wrong with this? And once I realized how stupid I was, I said, 10-7, that's awesome. This is a fantastic win. So for all the folks who are listening today that think the Giants should have lost, I'm saying nobody cares what you think. This is awesome. This is what New York football is supposed to be about. If we won every game 10-7, I'd be happy. It's awesome.
Because it goes in the win column.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Defense wins games, right? Or wins championships, or both, right?
For sure.
That's what they say. And that's how we did it with defense. That's awesome. It should be celebrated. So I for one apologize for not celebrating that. I should have done that. That's what I grew up watching this stuff. With LT, that's what I was watching. Low scoring game with the defense grounded out.
Yep.
All right. Herb, Bo, whichever one you guys got next.
And just to put a capper on that with the Bill Belichick, so the New England has held the last 2 teams combined to 20 points and still lost both games. Like everybody's got to go.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to go. Yeah.
Yep.
Great stat. It's not for them.
That's
exactly 10 points given up to each team, and
10 points each. I thought it was 20 each. Okay.
No, sorry, 20 combined, 10 points
20
apiece.
Combined.
Yes. And still lost both games.
That's not good.
Yep.
All right, Herb, go ahead and jump in with your next game. Something's going on with Bo.
I think he just saw the last alert and then it froze him. So
wow. Okay.
Did Frank Reich just get fired?
Yeah, that's what just came across.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
No, I think it literally just happened. I don't know what they expected this year.
I thought he was going to get a.
Let's jump into the games. We can go ahead and have our comments. We got a lot of comments, man.
All right, Baltimore and the Chargers. I mean, it just looked like a boring game. You know, it just kind of looked like Baltimore maybe playing with their food a little bit. And
for real, though.
Chargers,
the cat with the yarn on the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it was like they were like, we could pull away here. We're not, because we're trying to work on the ratings, but we're also not going to let you win. You know, it just and the Chargers, they give up a late touchdown just so their record in 1-score games doesn't get affected. So that's honestly, I mean, look, none of the stats was really great. You know, Flowers had a nice game, couple touchdowns, but none of the passing yards were great. They did get 4 turnovers out of the Chargers, but it just feels like Staley's going to get fired at the end of this year. You know, it's too much.
Why is it taking so long?
Why is it taking that long?
I don't know.
That's my only question here. It's taking that long.
He's going to get fired all year. Why is he still there?
I don't know. But there's
entire season
in the game where I think he's out coaching anybody. You know, I don't see adjustments at halftime. I don't see like any great play call. Like, I just don't see anything.
How is he allowed to survive that long? I don't get it. I'm missing something here.
I really thought that this one was going to be the game that got him out. And then to your point, the Ravens are just like playing with their food. I wanted to come out and boat race them.
Yeah.
And like just make the thing happen, right? Yep. Like coaches are getting fired. It's that time of year. Let's move on. Let's see what this Chargers team can actually be.
Yes, you do. Yep. Yeah. What do you have to lose? You're like 13th out of 16 teams in the AFC right now. Like, move on. You know, let's go.
All right.
And now you're coming up against teams that might actually give you trouble. You know, like even Denver's having a resurgence. You got to play them at the end of the year. Buffalo, you don't know. Kansas City, Pittsburgh. Like it's only going to get worse. So,
it's going to be the whole time on the sideline to watch.
When we were talking earlier about what teams we were going to do, I was originally going to do KC Raiders, right? Because it was still early in that game, and I was like, "Oh, this is looking like it's interesting." And then the second half came, and KC remembered their KC, and so there's not a lot to talk about in that game. It kind of went down how you thought it would go after Raiders started pretty hot. But the Bills-Eagles game, that was a fun game to watch. It was everything you wanted out of that game. Ends up going to overtime. Eagles pull it out at the end. both quarterbacks made some mistakes, but still had good days. So I don't know. It was a really fun game to watch. If you missed the game, this is one I'd say go back and watch it. It was fun to watch.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we don't have any poll questions, but we have a whole lot of comments. So you guys ready? Ready to jump into these? All right. Raj, one half of the Herb and Raj podcast, seen every Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. EST and 8 p.m. CST. Excuse me. Louisville has 2 losses, not going to the playoffs. That's academic. All right. Shake Back Group is chiming in. Hail to the victors. Hail to the victors. Valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail to Miss Churchill. All right. So it's time to say good night to Ryan Day. Well, the guys have already chimed in on that. They think he have another year. I think he should be gone. We need to kind of change the dynamic of it, get a fresh feel. They're going to be losing some key players on their team going into the draft. But they need to go ahead and start over in regards to.
And to be fair, our answer isn't like, should he be gone? It's we think he'll get another year. I could see why he would be gone with his record in big games. But I think
why he should get another year. That's a question I have. Why should he get another one? Based on what?
Because we don't get to make the decisions. We could Ryan Day and Staley could be hanging out in a bar together right now.
Even his face says fire me.
Yeah.
Okay. Raj says I'm taking Oregon by a touchdown. That's against Washington in the title game. That could, well, I don't know what's going to happen. That's a game I want to watch because I have no idea. Yeah. Right now, feet to the fire. I'm going to pick Oregon, but don't ask me about no numbers. How much? I don't know.
Definitely not the 9.5.
No, I was thinking more like 3.
I'd be shocked if that happens. Yeah, I'm thinking 3.
All right. Shake Back Media Group says, can I get you guys on this week for a championship week preview? Give me the best day and time of your availability, and I'll make it work. We'll work on that one, sir, ASAP, immediately following this show. All right. Rogers back in. Is Carolina regretting not taking Stroud at 1? Yeah, they probably are, but they never say it. It's probably all up in the front office like, man, we messed up with that one.
Well, the way Carolina's built, I don't know that Stroud has this much success, though, at Carolina either. So.
I don't think he does. Their offensive line isn't very good.
Do you guys like Bryce Young overall? I mean, just forget what you saw this year. I mean, like period coming into the league. Did you like him that much?
I had Stroud as my number 1 pick.
I was biased, so of course I liked Young, but I had no issues with Stroud. I thought he had a great year. And I said to people, if I was at 2, I wouldn't trade up, and I'd be okay with whoever slid. And I think Houston had a great spot there. So,
yeah, I did not have him at 1 either. I don't know. Maybe it's that he's barely my height, and I'm like, I always feel good about that, especially when it's top picks, like even with Kyle, look what's happening with him. I mean, I don't know. I just didn't feel good
I didn't
about
like him because he was a little bit smaller and he was going to be behind a bad offensive line no matter where he went.
Yeah, right? For the most part, yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're getting picked high, you're going to a bad team. Like, that's why they have a high draft pick. So, and unfortunately, if he was going to have success, he actually probably would have been better. Probably would have been better with the Colts.
Yeah. I'd like to see him get to sit a year too, though. So.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I want to see what's going to happen there too. All right, Rogers back in Miami at 8. Herb is absurd. Hello.
That was the Miami.
Herb, you have something to say about this, Herb, because you clearly
all the teams ahead of him have winning records, so I would have to think they would all beat Miami. So I stand by my ranking.
Hashtag double down. Wow.
Yeah. We will discuss this tomorrow night. He can yell at me.
Yeah, that's going to be a hot one. Please tune in 9 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. CST, the Herb and Raj podcast. You can find them on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. Wow, it's going to be a tight one to watch that show. All right, the Shake Back Media Group is chiming in again. How do you have a team that beat another team ahead of that team?
Did we?
I have no idea which one he meant, though.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then he said, Flacco. All right, brother, what's going on over there? Flacco. What are we talking about here? Flacco, he get signed by somebody?
Yeah, I thought he was about to be starting, but I couldn't remember who.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Thought he was selling cars or something.
Oh, yeah, he's working out for the Browns.
Oh, that actually makes sense.
Okay, so did that help out with this comment at all, or in my? How do you have a team?
I mean, I think it's a terrible idea. Oh, I'm looking at my rankings. I don't know who I had in front of. It's one of those like vague comments. Yeah. I'm not sure.
I feel like he's talking about Miami, but that's just he's talking about Miami. But I just want to know that for sure.
How do you have a team that beat another team ahead of that team? I'm not sure. Yeah.
What's up? Good morning to the Real Fresh channel, TRFC. Loving the show, fellas. Well, thank you. We love that you're here and enjoying the show with us and helping us out, man. We really appreciate it. Top of the tier syndrome. Okay. That must be
top of the tier is spelled wrong. I think he means Jacksonville.
There it is.
Well, no, it's TIER, but I'm an English fan. So
yeah.
I don't mean no offense. But
yeah. He was talking about Jacksonville. He was talking about Jacksonville when that comment came up.
Oh, top of it.
Yeah, he's top of the next tier of teams.
Yeah, they got the division right now, but I don't feel good about Jacksonville. It's just some, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It actually was spelled right because it's for Jags fans. It's going to be the top of the next tier. They ain't doing nothing.
All right. Kneecap in the house. Good morning, Jeremy. Thanks for joining us. Motor City Lions in the house. Good morning. Yep. Congratulations on your Giants winning, Mr. Yu. Well, thank you, sir. Every time I get on the show with you, you destroy the Giants. So I thank you for this nice comment that you made.
Right.
The Giants just won not getting Drake May. See?
Yep.
One hand I shake, other hand I slap you with.
Yeah.
Love you, Jeremy. Thanks for joining us, man. All right, the Shake Back Media Group. What do you all think about 3 teams from the AFC South being in the playoffs as if right now?
I think Houston is actually out, though.
Who?
Yeah, I think the loss pushes them out.
Yeah, Houston is actually out.
Yeah. Okay.
They're on the very next tier. I think it'd be very strange.
Wait.
Yeah.
From the South. Wow.
Yes, it would.
Jags, Texans, and what the Colts?
The Colts are actually in right now.
Yeah, Colts are still in. Yeah. That makes sense at all.
Okay.
Colts are your 7th seed out of this exact moment.
I want the Texans in, man. Texans in.
I do too.
They can get in.
I do too. They have the Colts at 7 and Texans at 8. Tied with Denver of all people.
To be fair, they played very good on Sunday.
Yeah.
They look really good. This is without Richardson. Jonathan Taylor explained to everybody why he earned that money.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did fantastic. All right.
Gardner Minshew is going to be like a backup quarterback in this league for like the next 10 years. Just kind of bounce around the situations.
That's number one thing. He's there for life. All right. Motor City Lions jumping in. I think it's crazy, but it could happen. Both conferences are top heavy with the division leaders, with the exception of the NFC South. Thoughts on that?
I mean, the NFC South is nobody wants to win that division.
Exactly.
So they're like, you take it.
That game. No, you. That game was so weird, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for a minute, and it was longer than a minute. I'm just being facetious, but for several minutes, that game could have been a game that we were talking about today. Man, this game.
Sure.
When it got to like a certain part in the fourth quarter, like, nah, we can't talk about it. Them Saints, boy.
Man,
you're gonna be 5-6 and trying to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they got.
I didn't understand what's happening. I know a lot of it's out hurt. I know that. Michael Thomas, which I found out yesterday, I didn't even know that he was on injured reserve. I had no idea. Kamara is still running into his protection. It's still a comedy errors going on. It's like it's so bad. I'm like, how are you so bad? You got all this talent. How is this possible?
I mean,
how are they that bad and still in the race? That's what I don't get either. So the whole thing is just ridiculous.
They're going to be getting a new coach too. Would be my guess.
All right. Motor City said I traded Giants AG for Wink today. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Exactly.
Danny DeVito looks pretty good. Why they call him Danny DeVito? Man, let that man live. Call him out his name. All right. This is where Jeremy has some fun now. This is the kind of comment that I see routinely in different places.
Yeah.
Because Danny Jones cannot throw dime. This is why I call him Danny Pesos. It's about what his throwing ability is worth. Yeah. That is unfair and also inaccurate, Jeremy. Have you watched the game that he was in? He can't. They call him dimes for a reason because he can throw them. That wasn't his problem. He has some problem, but that wasn't it. He can throw down. He can throw. He can make every throw that there is to make. He can do that. But that's not the problem. It's other stuff.
Kicking a man while he's down, that hurts. Like he's not even playing.
If it's all about him throwing dimes, he can do that.
Sure.
If it's about him throwing any kind of make any throw in the NFL, I believe he can do that. At the same time, I don't want him as the quarterback anymore for other reasons. He can do those things.
He definitely can. His team, other team, doesn't matter. They're right to him.
Interception ain't a problem either, man. What are you talking about?
It's the O-line. I mean, let's be honest. He was getting crushed back there.
Yeah. My problem with him ain't got nothing to do with none of that stuff. It's decision making.
Yeah.
It ain't got nothing to do with that stuff. It's like they have a blitz. I mean, that usually means that you got a guy open behind your defensive line, and you don't throw the ball to him. You looking around and thinking about running, and he's right there behind the line in that loose gap, no secondary around him or anything. He's just standing there, and you won't throw him the ball. That kind of stuff right there is not what good quarterbacks do. That's my beef for him. He got nothing to do with him throwing dimes. All right, but here we go. Because the fan base thinks drafting the next quarterback is the way. Sometimes it's better to build a team before you draft a quarterback. Amen.
Agreed.
All right, Wild jumps in. Panthers fired their coach. Wow.
Frank is out.
I thought Frank Reich was going to be going into the off season before they even talked about this kind of stuff. Just because of how they were framing it, something about his contract and.
I mean, he just signed.
They couldn't even wait that long. Huh?
I thought for sure he was going to get at least a second year.
Yeah.
Right. With how young this team is, and I mean, obviously they underperformed, but I thought he was somehow kind of safe.
Yeah.
I didn't think that, but I didn't think it'd be this early though. I thought it'd be a discussion in the offseason whether they want to do it or not. They discussed it while the season's still going on. Yeah. So it was like it's over.
I saw what you did there, Bo. How young this team is. I saw what you did there.
Oh damn. Fun with puns. I didn't even mean to do it.
Pardon the pun. All right. Now we got a lot more comments left, which is a good thing to have. So let's roll through them. All right. Frank Reich just signed a 4-year deal. He's paid the next 3.5 seasons to be on the couch.
Yeah. And wasn't this offseason when the NFL came out to the guys and said stop firing coaches so quickly because there's so many dead money out there and every team just said whatever?
Yeah, there was $880 million in coaches being paid that aren't coaching.
Yeah.
That is an insane number.
I sit here right now, not even sure if Frank Reich was actually a problem. Yeah. I don't even know.
Yeah.
You find
there's a litany of problems with that team.
Exactly.
Was it him? I mean,
he wasn't shiny
quarterback. He had a rep as the quarterback whisperer. That kind of stuff will kill you, man. Because if you don't do what they said you are.
Given the owner's reaction yesterday and him dropping the F-bomb and coming out, it almost feels like an emotional decision versus a rational decision.
Yeah.
That money proves that. How much is left? Mm-hmm. All right, Baltimore look like they're going to be the team to go to the Super Bowl this season. Yeah.
I disagree based on that game just because they didn't.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Not that they aren't the team, but I wouldn't say that based on how they played the Chargers.
I know that's Bo's pick, but I'm not quite sure about that. To be honest with you. What I saw yesterday, even though they played the Chargers, who are, I guess, considered a weaker opponent, I didn't see this is a perennial Super Bowl team. This is happening. This is automatic. I didn't see with the Chiefs either. So I don't know who in the AFC has that look, but it ain't either one of them. The Chiefs don't look that way, and neither do the Ravens. To be fair,
I don't think there is an AFC team that is the standout favorite.
No,
at least that I've seen. Like,
it's gonna be fun.
They all look like they have flaws.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep the train moving. Tell them, Bo. All right. Bo gives us some love from Motor City Lions. Back to Chargers into coaching oblivion. Yeah. That's been happening so many weeks, but the coach is still there. So
yeah.
It makes no sense.
He's got blackmail on somebody.
Right?
So he got pictures. I said that like 8 weeks ago. He got pictures.
I agree with you then.
The Bronx.
I don't think I want to know what the pictures are either. So
yeah, true.
Let's spend a second on this right here. Just a quick look at this. We thought Russell Wilson was gay. I thought we already had his eulogy typed out. And look, Peyton's actually doing what he went there to do. He's turning the franchise around. Can you believe it? Their defense even looked good in the past 2 games. And I was like, the defense looked like trash before that.
That's actually the brightest spot of this Broncos team is the last 4 weeks, all the turnovers they've been creating.
Yep.
At first, I just thought it was teams playing down to their level, but now they've done it 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, I'm gonna do rapid fire so people comments because there's a lot of them. I'm like, I'm gonna just hit them and y'all can just laugh, whatever, man. Because we gotta keep moving. Where I says Bows know that my team don't play defense. All right. Forward shooter to fire Ryan Day, Brian Hartline. Okay, whatever. How's that Wall Street? To be fair, because nobody else wants to do that but me. So. On your show, man, I told you that I was predicting that Waller was going to play more games than what people thought he was going to play. I didn't say he was going to get injured. We knew that already. What's up with you, man? Oh, my trying to embarrass me, man. I already told you Waller might get injured. He's been injured every year of his entire career, I think.
Oh, he was definitely going to get injured.
The trade it's too early to judge the trade yet. It's only 1 year.
Yeah.
And there's still more season. He can come back and still play more season now. Oh, man. Don't do me like that. All right. Wow. A toddler. That's insulting, man. I'm a little over 5'10". That's insulting, man. He makes Kyler Murray look tall. All right.
Wow.
To be fair, they're the same height, but that's fine.
No, exactly.
I don't know that they are. I think Kyler Murray's smaller than that. Whatever. Flacco with the backup quarterback for the Browns. I don't know how that helps things. All right. Miami has not beaten a good team with a winning record yet. Yeah, I think if anybody knows that Raj does, I'm sure he's not feeling that. Houston's on the bubble still. Yeah, but they're still in there.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, thank you, sir. Great show. Thanks for the compliment. Oh, gosh. I don't know who that's about.
That was about Daniel Jones. That's when y'all were talking about that.
Oh.
The insults keep coming. I don't know what Bo did to rub it in, but he's just.
I don't know.
This is just fun. Okay, this is actually a fair point. Thank you for sharing that, Motor City Lions. This is a fair point, man. They traded away all the good stuff they had and bringing in a rookie quarterback to have nobody to throw to.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'd have been much different if CMC and DJ Moore were actually there. It probably would have been a whole lot different.
Oh,
I don't know how McCaffrey's avoiding injury in San Francisco, but in Carolina he was injured like every week. I don't know how.
Well, but the problem is they still didn't have a good offensive line, so he was getting hit by linemen instead of linebackers. Right. I mean, that's 100-pound difference.
So they might have something more than pictures. Okay. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to start checking these comments before I put.
Wow. Getting aggressive here.
Oh, yeah. This is the last one. Thank the Lord.
You skip one of Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see it. Frank Reich and Jimbo Fisher are living a good life. I'm fine. Okay, just don't forget about those direct deposits.
I mean, I just want to be Jimbo's friend right now, you know? Just like, how do I get to his inner circle? That's just what I want to do.
Wow. Charity case me.
Mexico.
Charity case me right now. I'm totally down with that stuff.
Hey, we can hang out every day. I'm cool with that. Like,
right?
You know?
All right. Well, this is the last comment. It looks like I had KC with Philly. Yeah, that's not going to change. I still feel the same way about that part, but wow, they don't look super great, but they're winning. They just don't look great. I mean, I don't think it's injury related. I think it's just something else going on there. But they don't look like a Super Bowl contender, but neither does Philly either. So who knows? All right. Any closing thoughts, guys? Let them know. See, we broken down. Them comments broke me down. The whole vibe came from these comments. Everybody was happy and excited, clapping and smiling, showing their teeth. These comments, man, y'all broke us down, man. Congratulations.
It's weird
man.
because
Y'all
they
broke
just
down the
won
host
a
of this
game.
show, man.
They just
Y'all
won
broke
a
down the
game,
host
and you're getting all those comments. Like,
Y'all
so
broke down the
it's
host of
like,
this show, man. And comments about players not even playing.
Yeah,
Maybe a cat-
Not even playing.
yeah.
right. He may have taken his last snap as a
You
Giant.
guys are brutal, man. But we love you. And thank you for the comments of your participation in our show. We appreciate it very much. Bo and Herb, somewhere they can find you, man.
Go ahead, Herb.
Our YouTube channel, this is Tube or Herb Raj Podcast. Search for either one of those. We put all our content. And then tomorrow, or on the Twitter, or formerly on Twitter, whatever, at Raj Herb.
I'm gonna keep calling it Twitter.
Raj _ Herb. And then tomorrow night live, all your platforms, 8:00 Central, 9:00 Eastern, and whatever Bo's time is. I guess like 4 in the afternoon. I guess Bo's time.
Yes.
Yep, because I'm on another planet. It's fine.
Yes,
sir. And of course, for me, you can find me here every Monday morning on my channel as well at Football Talk or Football Talk, and my Thursday and Friday morning shows on Roku TV.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Appreciate all of the support out here and for all you're doing with us. Thank you so much, guys, and hope we have a great week. Guess what? Time to go.